Hi friends, welcome to Canadian Cutting Edge, and today we're taking a look at this kitchen knife. This is a knife, it's a collaboration by Drop, formerly called Mass Drop, and Apogee Culinary. That's a company out of Washington, Vancouver, Washington, United States. So this knife is made in the USA. It's got a premium steel. It's got G10 on the handle. This is a serrated cutting edge made for bread, for meat, and anything in between that you might need to cut. If you're looking for a knife like this, like my wife was, you might just find that this is the one that's going to meet all of your needs and exceed your expectations. My wife says this is the best knife she's ever had of its type, and I'm very glad that we got it. If you're interested in this, the video might be a little shorter than normal, but I'd like you to check this out, and I'll have links down below that make it easy for you to get one for yourself. Thanks for watching. The full review's coming right now. So here's the whole thing sitting right there and looking good. At least I think it looks good. Right across here it says Mass Drop X Apogee. I couldn't fit all that into close-up, but that's what it looks like. We've got a rounded spine all the way around, and then we've got a blunt tip. So you can't hurt yourself this way, or anybody else for that matter. I guess you could hurt them, but you're not going to cut them. The heel of the blade is not, the edge at the heel of the blade is not sharpened either. It's only the serrated section between my thumbs right there that's sharp. Very nice. Like I said, this is that Carpenter BD1N steel, and it's tempered using the cold nitrogen process. That also helps the steel be that much better. So that's a very good steel. The Rockwell hardness on it is between 61 to 63. I think the first stage of hardening goes to about 63, and then when they temper it back to around 61, that's a very good hardness for this steel. Very durable steel. It's a premium steel. I wouldn't call it a super premium steel, but it's definitely a premium steel. And, full flat grind. So the thickness of the spine is consistent, and then it comes down to the cutting edge right there. The handle is a geometrical shape. It looks like this. Let's see if I can get it to focus here. So you've got the rounded back of the spine, flat sides, and then those three sides right there for the handle, bottom of the handle. So the cutting edge is right here. And very, very comfortable in the hand indeed. You get your good grip on it, you're holding it, it feels very, very well in hand. Because of the flat sides, you always know when you're straight up and down. And you just have a lot of control over a knife like this. It's got a stainless steel end to the handle, a pommel, and stainless steel here, and it's a full tang all the way through. I tested it with a magnet. And you've also got G10 here. This is polished G10 that the tang of the blade goes through. Very, very comfortable, very nice. And the plunge down here is, consistent on both sides. Let's see if I can get it to focus up a little closer. There you go. You can see how that's made right there. It's very good for grasping in this manner and then doing your cutting motion, or you can grab it all the way back here. The balance point is right at the beginning of that ricasso. Let me get it focused right here. There you go. Good balance point, exactly where you want it to be. So your control is right there. Very, very well made. You can get it with or without these dimples. If you're buying a knife like this solely for the purpose of cutting bread, you do not need to spend the extra $5 on these dimples. I got it with these dimples because, I wasn't sure if we were going to use it to cut meat and other things in the home. So the dimples are really good for that. You can even use serrated edge like this, to cut a tomato. And for that, the dimples are extra useful. It helps the food to let go and fall away. And same goes for a number of other different foodstuffs that you could cut. Let's go over some of the specs and details, and I'm just going to put this piece of white paper in the corner. As long as this is on the screen, I'm talking about the specs on the dimensions and everything. 260 grams, 9.15 ounces for the whole thing, so that's not bad at all. The factory sharpness, I forgot to measure it when it was brand new, how sharp that edge was, but I measured it today and it hit right around 200. I do 3 tests and then I see what the sharpness is, because one test could be off if you do it just wrong or something. So right around 200, that's considered sharp, and 200 and less is sharp. Above 200 is not so sharp. But for this kind of edge and for the kind of test I did, it could be a flaw in my system. I'm used to cutting or measuring straight edges, not serrations. So there might be a fudge factor there. It's probably better than that 200. The length of the cutting edge, so just the serrated section here, 21.5 centimeters, 8.5 inches. Blade length, so between my thumbs now, is about 25.7 centimeters, 10 1/8 inches. The blade thickness at the spine, 2.22 millimeters, that's 0.0875 of an inch, so 87.5 thousandths of an inch thick. The blade depth, that's this dimension, over here closer to the spine. It does get a little more narrow closer to the tip. It's wider here than it is here. So that's more narrow than that. And I usually measure about an inch up. So right here, 3.41 centimeters, 1.34 inches. The thickness of the edge behind the grind right here. So right at the edge of the serrated thing here, 0.69 millimeters, that's 27 thousandths of an inch thick. Not bad. I might like it a little bit thinner, but that's not bad at all. The grind angle, so it's like a chisel grind, meaning that it's only ground on the one angle and there's no grinding on the back side here. That's 30 degrees. So that's the same as if I had a different knife and if the cutting edge was here, it would have 15 degrees per side. That's the same as this 30. So 15-degree cutting edge, not bad at all. That's nice and precise, good for kitchen knives. If you're not a regular viewer of this channel, most EDC pocket knives are at 20 degrees per side. So that equals 40 instead of 30. So I like the grind angle. The handle length, and that's from the first spot where it starts getting thicker. So right at the end of the flat section to the end of the pommel, 12.7 centimeters, 5 inches. And the thickness of the handle, it's just under 2 centimeters, 1.93 centimeters, and that is 0.76 of an inch, so just over 3/4 of an inch. The depth of the handle, 2.72 centimeters, just over 1 inch, 1.07. And the total length of the knife from one end to the other is 38.42 centimeters, 15 1/8 inches. That's a big knife. Like I said, this knife costs $60 US at drop. If you want the dimples, $65 US. And shipping is just, I think, $250, $275, something like that, depending on where you live. That's to the United States. A few more dollars to Canada. There's no risk ordering this shipped into Canada. It's totally legal, no problem at all. The equivalence of those numbers, $60 US right now is around 81.5 Canadian dollars, or with the dimples, it's about 88, just over 88 Canadian dollars for this knife. And for this huge slab of that premium steel and this good construction, that's worth it. I don't have any problems with that at all. I'll give you a close-up shot of this seam where the steel and the G10 meet. And you can see that it's close. There's no gaps or anything. Very, very well made. Let's see what my wife thinks of this knife. So she loves it. It's a very, very good knife. I've used it to cut bread several times myself, and it's so easy, so simple. She had a little bit of a blip in that. So what do you think of that knife?
I love it. Cuts through bread like a hot knife through butter.
You can put this in your dishwasher, but if you're smart, you don't. Don't put your kitchen knives in dishwashers because you'll actually make it dull a whole lot faster because there's, believe it or not, there's grit flying around your dishwasher when it's washing. So highly, highly recommended to hand wash your kitchen knives, especially, ones like this. So overall, I don't have any cons that I found on this. I like how it looks. I like how it feels. The G10's wonderful, comfortable in hand, long cutting edge for just about any kind of thing that you might want to cut. The serrations work flawlessly for me, and it's a very good knife. If you're not yet a member of Drop, formerly called Mass Drop, if you use my link to join, you will get $10 US off your first purchase. And disclaimer, I will also get $10, which is a really good thing. If you are already a member of Drop, I've got other links down below for you guys. I do get a tiny bit of a commission for that, a few percentage points of a commission. Unfortunately, you don't get anything, but I do get a tiny bit of a commission. So thank you so much for helping me out. If you've got any questions about this knife, please ask them down below or send me an email. I read all the comments. I don't always get to them promptly because I've got various life issues going on and health stuff, but I read them all and I reply to most of them. And if you email me, I will definitely get back to you in promptly, I should say. So there you go. This is a nice knife that I like. For what you get, it's a good weight, good design, good hand feel, and my wife says this is the best serrated knife she's ever had. So she's been around a kitchen for a few years, and that says a lot. So thanks so much for watching my little video. The next video will be a little more intensive, more extensive, I should say, than this one. I just wanted to thank you for watching. Thank you for liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. And remember, friends, always slice towards your chum, not your thumb. Bye for now.